Hi and welcome. Join me as we continue in the book about Vicor, Chapter 1, Part 2. The funeral ceremony was smooth, but that could not improve John's psychological state. To ameliorate John's troubled state, he made new friends and a girl named Kathy. She was beautiful and 2 years younger than John. She would hang out with John and take him around town, not for long. John's life was lit up. The change in John's life endeared her to the family the more. However, one day John's father and his two siblings went to the nearby city for a friend's party. John did not go with them because he felt sick that morning. Meanwhile, towards 6 o'clock in the evening, his father called and told him that they would be home late due to a road accident that caused traffic jam. John felt bored in such a lonely place. He called Kathy and asked her if they could go for a dinner that evening. She gave him a yes. John got dressed up and waited for her to come over so they could go to a nearby restaurant. They had dinner together that evening and treated themselves to beautiful stories of their life while drinking some alcohol. When it was time to go home, Kathy got up and reached for the door. It was then that John noticed her curves in the colorful gown she was putting on, and instantly he got aroused. When they got outside the restaurant, John told Kathy that his father and his sibling would not be home and asked her to spend the night with him. In that the house would be too empty and lonely if he has to be the only one spending the night hearing. Kathy, unaware that John was already lusting after her, inclined to his gentle acts. They both left for John's family house, When they got to their destination, it was already deep in the night. John opened his room and ushered her in. Hardly had she settled down when John sensuously reached for her left hand, drew her to himself, and kissed her to her uttermost amazement, since it was the last thing on her mind. She, however, returned the kiss, and soon they were locked in a kissing marathon. John and Kathy knew themselves carnally through the night. Kathy woke up the following morning, snuck out with John still dead asleep in the bed. John woke up to a phone call by his manager who asked him to return to work immediately, that the bank was under revalidation by the government. For this reason, John left for the airport after taking his bath. He could not wait for his father and sibling to return because of the emergency of his situation. However, he left a note on the table for them. Also, he sent a message to Kathy that he was on his way back to his base as the emergencies of work called. John got to his base in the night. The following morning, he rushed to the office. The sight of him was greeted by loud cheers from his colleague who welcomed him back with hugs. Lovely. Minutes later, the manager called John into his office and served him a letter. He left the manager disturbed as to what the letter contained and could not wait to open it. As he walked back to his desk, he opened the letter and saw there had been a redundancy by the company, and he was among those affected. He got shocked to his bone marrows, considering that he was among the best staffers in the banks. He stood motionlessly, confused and unaware of his surroundings. He then heaved a sigh of relief, walked to his desk, picked his items, and left without talking to his colleagues. John hit the road, walking at the middle of the road without knowing. A speeding car knocked him down and never stopped. The good Samaritans who saw what happened called for the ambulance in which John was taken to the hospital. He was admitted for a month at the hospital. Right, we're going to stop here for now, and I'll show you I'm going to read more next time. Hope you enjoy this. See you next time.